All right, today we're cutting right through all the hype around nutritional shortcuts. You know what I'm talking about. Juices, green powders, the works. We've all heard the promises, but can they really replace the incredible benefits of whole foods? That's what we're going to figure out. I mean, you've seen this everywhere, right? And let's be honest, it sounds amazing. Skip all the work, the shopping, the chopping, the chewing, and just drink your plants. The idea that you can get everything you need in one quick scoop, for anyone with a busy life and who isn't busy, that sounds like an absolute game changer. But here's the big question, the one we really need to ask. What are you actually losing when you skip the chew? It turns out that simple act, it's tied to this whole chain of nutritional benefits that just gets, obliterated in processing. So what's the real trade-off? What are we giving up for that convenience? Okay, so Section 1, the quick fix promise. Is it just too good to be true? Let's take a closer look at what we're really being sold here. So this is the core myth, right? That these juices and powders can just step in and replace whole foods. It's so powerful because it taps right into our need for efficiency. We all want a shortcut. But, the science, and more importantly, real-world experience, they tell a completely different story. All right, let's get into why whole foods really are the champions here. Before we even look at the alternatives, we have to set the baseline. Let's talk about the gold standard, the unbeatable original. And here's the thing. This isn't just some popular opinion or a fad. It is backed by tons of consistent research. Diets that are packed with whole foods, the kind you actually have to chew, are consistently linked to better health, better survival, just better outcomes all around. They're the true superfoods, the complete package that no lab has ever been able to fully copy. So, let's zero in on one absolutely crucial component that gets lost: fiber. And I love this analogy. Think of it like this. When you eat a whole apple, the fiber acts like a brake pedal for the sugar, right? It slows everything down. But when you juice that apple, you've basically ripped out the brake pedal and you're just flooring the accelerator. All that sugar hits your system at once. And fiber is a total multitasker. It does so much. First, it stabilizes your blood sugar, which means no more of those awful energy spikes and crashes. It also feeds all the good bacteria in your gut, which is so important for digestion and overall health. And get this, it even helps get rid of excess hormones. It's a powerhouse. Okay, now for the main event, the showdown. We're putting juices, smoothies, and powders head to head. Let's see how they really stack up against the original whole food. First up, juices. They're always marketed as this pure shot of vitamins and antioxidants, right? A quick flood of goodness. And look, they do contain vitamins, but ironically, their biggest selling point is also their biggest weakness. It all comes down to what's been taken out. Okay, check this out. This is the key difference. When you juice, you strip away all that incredible fiber we just talked about. That means you get a super fast sugar spike. But when you blend something into a smoothie, you keep the fiber. You're getting the whole fruit or vegetable. That means slower sugar absorption, a much more balanced meal. So yeah, if you're absolutely going to drink your plants, a smoothie is hands down the better choice. And now for the green powders. You know the ones. They come with all these amazing claims, these buzzwords like detox, superfood, immune boosting. I mean, an all-in-one solution for perfect health? Of course we'd all want that. But let's pull back the curtain and look at the reality behind all that hype. Okay, so here's the reality check. First off, a lot of those fragile nutrients, like vitamin C, they get destroyed during all the processing and drying. Then you have these proprietary blends. That's a sneaky way to hide that they're only putting in tiny, totally ineffective amounts of dozens of ingredients. And get this, there are no large clinical trials that show any of the huge benefits they claim. And it can get worse. There's even a potential risk for things like heavy metal contamination, and some can even interfere with your medications. The reality just doesn't match the marketing. One patient put it perfectly. She realized it was just an expensive multivitamin with powdered greens. Helpful? Maybe. But she said it was absolutely no match for the real vegetables on her plate. And that really sums it up, doesn't it?
Okay, so let's move away from the labels and talk about real people. Let's look at some stories from the clinic, because this stuff has real consequences, but also real solutions.
So there was this one patient. She started replacing her actual meals with these green juice cleanses. And instead of feeling stronger, all that rapid weight loss and the crazy blood sugar crashes, they left her feeling so weak she couldn't even continue her medical treatment on schedule. I mean, this wasn't just a small side effect. It had serious health implications. And the solution?
It was actually pretty simple, but so powerful. She went back to eating whole foods. She'd still have an occasional smoothie as a tool, for convenience, but not as a replacement. And the change was dramatic. Her energy came back and she could tolerate her treatments again. It just goes to show you the incredible power of real food.
And here's another story that I think a lot of us can relate to. A different patient was totally swayed by an influencer online who was pushing this popular green powder. And she thought, hey, this must cover all the bases for my nutrition. We've all been there, right? But when she actually sat down with a professional and looked at the label, she had this light bulb moment. She realized there was no way this powder could even come close to the benefits she'd get from just eating vegetables.
All right, so we've looked at the science, we've heard the stories. What's the final verdict? What's the bottom line you can actually use? Let's break it down.
Okay, here it is, the simple breakdown. For juices, they're missing that crucial fiber, so think of them as an occasional add-on at best. Smoothies, they're a much better choice because they keep the fiber, making them a really practical meal option when you're in a pinch. And green powders, well, they're really just an expensive supplement. An optional backup, maybe, but never a substitute for the real thing.
Look, if there is just one thing you take away from all this, let it be this quote right here. The true superfoods are still the ones you chew. The marketing world is always going to be searching for the next magic pill or powder, but the truth is, the real superfoods have been here all along. They're waiting for you in the produce aisle.
So in the end, look, convenience is great. It has its place. But it's so important to know what the trade-off is. So the next time you find yourself reaching for one of these shortcuts, just ask yourself this one simple question. Is this convenience costing me nutrition? Answering that honestly could be the key to making a choice that really truly supports your health.